April 2024 I reviewed the Auralic Aries S1, which is the transport version of the Vega S1, the version without DAC. This time we look at the version with integrated DAC, the Vega S1. As always with Auralic, the Aries models have digital outputs, while the Vega models have an internal DAC and thus analog outputs. For both the S1 versions there is a power supply upgrade that offers further increased sound quality. Auralic now has three price levels: S1, G1.1 and G2.2 for both Aries and Vegas. Recently Auralic announced the Aquila X3 flagship, a two-part modular digital player with integrated CD mechanism, which retails for €17,500 and will become available in March 2025. This time we look at the €2,040 costing Vega S1. I described the €1,019 costing external power supply in the Aries S1 review, so I skipped it here. But let's first see where the Vega S1 finds its place in your stereo. The Vega S1 must be connected to an amplifier using a pair of XLR or RCA cables. A pair of loudspeakers or headphones have to be connected to the amp. The Vega S1 also needs to be connected to the modem/router over a network cable. In this way it connects to streaming services and radio stations on the internet. When a computer or NAS with music is connected to the network, that music can be played too. The Vega S1 is to be controlled over the LightningDS app on an iPad. For streaming only, the LightningCast app on Android smart devices can be used. See my videos LightningCast for Android and LightningCast Revisited, links at the usual places. If you still want to play CDs, you can connect your CD player over SPDIF or Toslink. Alternatively, you can connect a USB CD drive to play and rip CDs. Video sources can use the Vega S1 to play the sound. For this it must be connected via SPDIF or Toslink. Most video equipment uses Toslink, such as a TV. There's a chance that the sound is not synchronized. Instead of an integrated amplifier, a power amplifier can be used. The Vega S1 has no trigger output, so the amp has to be powered on by hand. Another option is to use active loudspeakers instead of an amp and speakers. Connections might be made over either RCA or XLR cables. The sturdy black metal housing measures 207 by 290 by 85 mm and weighs 4 kilos. The entire front is covered by transparent polycarbonate, with behind it a 4-inch full-color display that is used for the menu and showing what music is played. On top, near the front, are 5 buttons. From left to right for standby, play, pause and select when using the menu, menu activations and up and down buttons. When playing music they adjust the volume up and down. When navigating menus, these buttons let you highlight the menu items. The power switch and fuse holder are combined with the IEC mains inlet. The on/off switch is only used when the device is not in use for a longer time. Otherwise the standby function on the front is used. The HDMI connector is used to connect the optional €1,000 Pure power supply and can't be used for video nor I2S. The network cable is to be connected here, with below it a USB port for connecting a storage medium or USB CD player. The USB-B port can be used to connect the computer to as source. Then 3 AES3 family inputs: coax SPDIF, optical Toslink 1 and optical Toslink 2. Then the outputs: unbalanced on RCA and balanced on XLR. Opening the Vega S1 was a bit complicated because of the heatsink adhesive on top of the Orfeo output modules. I knew the review unit was needed for demonstrations directly after my review, so I was extra careful. Since I have a photo of the inside of the Aries S1 from the earlier review and Auralic provided a semi-see-through photo of the Vega S1, I will use that to describe the inside. It was clear that the chassis, the power supply board and the Tesla G3 streaming platform from the Aries S1 were also used in the Vega S1. Here the Aries S1 inside. With left the linear power supply and on the right the Tesla G3 board. The latter does resampling, parametric equalizing, speaker placement compensation, loudness leveling and direct live room correction. It also reduces jitter and other imperfections in the digital signal. In fact, these are all features also found in the Aries G2.2, but now not packed in the Unity chassis but in a still sturdy but simpler steel chassis. And the power supply is also simpler than in the G2.2. Let's now go to the Vega S1 and you see the almost identical power supply. Here the mains filter, the toroidal transformer and the rectifiers with capacitors. The difference with the power supply of the Aries S1 is that here the double amount of rectifiers and capacitors are mounted to power the DAC section. This DAC section is mounted above the Tesla G3 engine. Auralic separates the upsampling and digital filtering from the actual digital to analog conversion. Upsampling and filtering is done in the Tesla engine that sends the upsampled signal over isolators to the ESS DAC chip for conversion only. From the DAC the signal goes to the Orfeo volume controls, followed up by the Orfeo Class A modules that send analog signals to the outputs. The Orfeo volume controls are resistor banks that are switched by solid-state relays so that once in a position they need not be powered until change is needed. The Orfeo Class A modules are capable of outputting slightly over 6 volts on the balanced outputs. They generate a lot of heat, hence the heatsink adhesive I mentioned before. Since the Vega S1 is effectively an Aries S1 with built-in DAC, almost everything works the same. Only the skip buttons on top of the Aries S1 function as volume controls on the Vega S1. The skip functions are now touch buttons on the screen. And of course the Vega S1 has analog outputs and thus must be connected to an amplifier directly. For the rest, everything is down to the Lightning DS app that runs only on iPhone and iPad. Or if you only use streaming services, you can use LightningCast on the Google Pixel. But you can also use Roon, DLA or OpenHome to control the Vega S1 on both Android and iOS smart devices. An infrared remote is not supplied, but you can learn the Vega S1 the infrared codes of another remote. For instance, use the CD buttons of the remote of your amplifier. For the rest, please watch my reviews of the Aries S1, links at the usual places. The Vega S1 was connected over Grim Audio SQM XLR cables to the Air Acoustics AX520 amplifier, that in turn drives the PMC FAC12 signature loudspeakers on Stack Audio OVA 17 isolators and connected over AudioQuest Robin Hood Zero loudspeaker cable. The switch was the Zixel GS1900-10 HP that was connected to the Vega S1 over a Network Acoustics Eno 2 system Ethernet filter. Also connected to the Zixel switch was a Zixel Odido modem that provides internet access over glass fiber and the small green computer Sonic Transporter i7 CDR that runs Roon Server, Minim Server and Audivana Core Server. I used a Google Pixel tablet with LightningCast installed, music coming from Apple Music. The Vega S1 delivers a smooth sound with excellent resolution. Lows are open and come with good texture. Voices and brass sound natural without harshness, so mid-range is fine too. Glockenspiel and triangle are very fine too for this class. The soundstage lets you look rather deep into the orchestra and instruments are placed well separated from each other. In this price range and somewhat above, the Vega S1 offers a very good sound quality. I rate it top of my set of 1B. The Vega S1 makes the excellent streaming technology and Fusion DAC more accessible for a larger public. At €2,100 it's really a steal. Being a streamer DAC, it sounds as good as or better than the best DACs in this price range. It does roon, delay, is open home compatible and can now be used with iOS devices using the Lighting DS app and with Android using the LightningCast mod on a Google Pixel tablet. Roon, open home and delay can be used on both iOS and Android. And on that bombshell we come to the end of this video. There will be a new video next week. So subscribe to this channel or follow me on Patreon, Facebook, LinkedIn or Instagram to stay informed on when new videos are out. Subscribers to Patreon and YouTube Premium see my videos 1 week earlier and commercial free. Help me reach even more people by giving this video a thumbs up or link to this video on the social media. It is much appreciated. Many thanks to those viewers that support this channel financially. It keeps me independent and lets me improve the channel further. If that makes you feel like supporting my work too, the links are in the comments below this video on YouTube. I'm Hans Beekhuizen, thank you for watching and see you next week. And whatever you do, enjoy the music.